All right, now staying on with more news from the United States of America, where protests against the American President Donald Trump's immigration policies have intensified across the United States. In the latest show of anger, hundreds of demonstrators, in fact, rallied both inside and outside of the 26 Federal Plaza in Manhattan. Now, the Federal Tower is now at the center of the growing outrage over the treatment of migrants. The building houses offices for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Department of Homeland Security, and also an immigration court. The demonstration, organized by immigrant rights groups and local leaders, aimed to enforce compliance with a court order requiring improvements in detention conditions. Now, outside the building, over 70 protesters staged a sit-in, blocking the garage entrance used by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to transport detainees in and out of the facility. Meanwhile, city and state officials pressed for access to the ICE detention areas inside of the building. New York City Comptroller Brad Lander and 10 state lawmakers demanded entry to the 10th floor, where ICE runs holding cells criticized for unsafe and unsanitary conditions. The federal officers blocked their entry when the group refused to leave. The agents detained all 11 officials, and the organizers said that more than 75 people were taken into custody throughout the day by both the city police and the federal agents. In Washington's Mount Pleasant neighborhood, dozens of residents gathered to protest as ICE officers took a man into custody.
They don't feel secure. They prefer to stay home in their houses, not go to work, not to go shopping, because they are afraid of ICE because of the situation here in D.C. For us, thankfully, we've been able to fix our documents, but we don't feel secure for the simple fact that we are Latino.
Now, Trump launched an immigration enforcement campaign after taking office in January, but as the crackdown expanded and arrests included many people without criminal records, the public support for his immigration policies has declined. All right, now joining us on the broadcast, we've got our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who's joining us live from New York. Susan, this of course is a big deal, isn't it? Anti-ICE protests, the fact that Trump has made immigration crackdown such a big issue. Why are we witnessing protests against some of these raids by the anti-immigration groups?
Yeah, so the story that you mentioned here in New York at 26 Federal Plaza was with, as you mentioned, 11 lawmakers who tried to get into the 10th floor of this federal building, which has somewhat become notorious with being a holding place for migrants. Lawmakers say that they are concerned about human rights violations, the sanitary situation up there, and generally because it's so closed door, they say that they have a right to go and make sure that everything is in order. Again, that New York incident, which just happened, comes at the heels of a federal judge ruling that ICE needs to be more mindful about treating migrants at these different facilities. So it appears that's why they decided to go there. ICE calls it a stunt. We saw 71 other demonstrators get arrested, including these 11 lawmakers that went to the federal building. As we are talking just a few minutes ago, there's been demonstrations against ICE in Chicago now. What's significant is Chicago and New York are considered to be sanctuary cities, which means that law enforcement is not required to cooperate with ICE. So we're going to continue to see this tug of war between lawmakers in these sanctuary cities and ICE, who claims that we're just trying to do our job and we have a directive from the higher ups to carry out these arrests and deportation processes.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Susan Tehrani, for joining us with all those updates there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.